And that concludes this month's video log. Yeah, lots of projects this month, and this was obviously completely chronological and shows like a bunch of random junk in between the projects, but this is a video log, hopefully something I can look back on. Not trying to do anything crazy here. This year, a goal of mine is to create more projects that are smaller and actually finish them. And I think that by taking videos and time lapses, it creates a form of accountability for me. As well as that, it's just fun to look back on, create something, publish it, and have some fun creating videos and stuff. So I'm thinking about making individual videos for each project. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. I think I'll probably do that this month. But also I thought about doing a voiceover for this whole video log, but figured on some level maybe the voiceover should be saved for the individual videos. I started the month by buying a new camera, so it's the RX100 VA. I sold my Nikon Z6, which is a mirrorless camera, and I had like a nice lens and all that stuff, but I found that I never got it out of the case. Too much work, too clunky, and I would rather just use something that I know and is reliable. I used to have an RX100 Mark IV, lost it in a fire, so we're back on the RX grind, and so far it's been fine. I'm open to any other suggestions, but I think that this works for me for now, and the goal for me is to create, not to get lost in what's the best video camera. I have been known to go down rabbit holes like that far too often. But yeah, so getting rid of the mirrorless camera, I'm trying to just optimize for less is more, and that's a big thing that I've been thinking about this month is reducing the amount of stuff I have to make room for creating stuff, right? And I don't mean that in the physical sense, but I think that by having so much stuff, I get bogged down by all these things I can do. And I've also been a person that gets really into hobbies, and I go down the Reddit thread rabbit hole and I buy the nicest thing and end up abandoning the hobby shortly after. I think that I'm trying to just push back against that and start to get rid of a lot of the excess. And just reduce things to what I need. So all I need is a point and shoot camera for this stuff, as much as my mind wants me to go buy a really nice mirrorless. So these projects that I finished this month, just to review what we looked at. Of course, I painted those minis for the first time. That was fun. I used a quick and easy method, so that was nice for me as a beginner. I created that jewelry holder. That really ended up taking about 2 months, started in late December. And not because I was working on it every day, but because I was just fitting it in between things. And of course, I casted that concrete into a mold that I had created. And then of course, like all the measurements were off and I had to hand place every single one of those tiles. And it looked so bad for most of the process. But honestly, it turned out great once you kind of put jewelry on it. I think that it came together in a way that's somewhat charming. It's not my ideal thing. Yes, I would like to redo it, but no, I don't have time. I want to do other things. As well as that, I did this desk cleanup project, and this is something that has been a long time coming. I finally did it. It's a huge undertaking, and honestly, it's just this desk here, and we'll talk a little bit more about what the continuation of this project entails. But so far, it's just so much nicer to sit here. I feel like I have everything I need in front of me, and I don't have a bunch of visual clutter, and that comes back to what I was talking about. Another project from this month, and I didn't really show it very much, but it was this new dice tower, and I'll grab it real quick. So I made the first dice tower out of foam core, and this was V2. So this is a laser cut dice tower, and as you can tell, it's very much a prototype. It is essentially just the hexagon, and I did the model in Blender, and then I basically exported the UV map into Illustrator and played with it that way. But yeah, it's a hexagon with a handful of half hexagons inside of it, just a little ramp at the bottom. So this was a fun little project. If I do have footage, I'll make sure that it's in there. So beside those projects, which are my hobby projects and fun little things that I'm enjoying doing, keep creating stuff, I also do some design work on the side, so I have a small agency. And so we finished 2 pretty big projects last month, one of them being a logo and brand design for a electrical company in Portland. So that was a pretty cool project. I'll show a photo of that right now, as well as a pretty huge website project that I've been working on for well over a year at this point. So it's completely custom. Pretty proud of how it came out, and we're actually publishing that today, I think. So really excited about that one. So I am starting to do some design work on the side, which has been really fun, and I've structured it as an agency so that we can make sure to get the right person for the job. Everything from branding to web design to illustration to maybe even some product design. So just throwing that out there. If you know somebody who needs design work or you need design work, just hit me up. But let's talk about what projects are coming up next month. Organizing the rest of this office space. So I'm not going to turn the camera around, but it's not messy. It's just disorganized. And there's a closet that is just full of junk. So I'd like to get rid of that junk or organize it in a way that's effective and probably use some container solution that's not like some shitty plastic containers. Another one will be doing the second version of the dice tower. So I would like to do some laser engraving on the outside of it, maybe make it look like a castle of some kind. I'm working on what that mental model is currently, but I'm open to suggestions on the best way to do that. Currently I have it built in Blender right behind me here. And like I said, it's an extremely simple model, but I want to figure out how I can embellish it well while still keeping a mentality of using a laser cutter to create the final design. So I know that there might be a way to slice it, something like that, but I think I'd rather work with the constraint of the laser cutter rather than be forced to fit my design into the constraint of the laser cutter at the end of it. The other big project for March is going to be clipboards. So there's millions of clipboards out there, but we wanted to create something that was bespoke and custom. So not going to reveal any details about that now, but you'll be seeing that in the next video next month. And speaking of that, right, this is the inspiration, but I actually love it. It's a very simple clipboard, and I find that moving away from digital further is helping me excel in a lot of my skill sets. So a lot of my design work is starting on paper again. I used to start in the computer, but just having paper around on a portable surface is really nice, and I enjoy drawing on it, writing notes, whatever it is. So you'll be seeing more about that next month. I think that's everything for this month. Thank you for watching if you're still watching this far into it. Again, I think I'm mostly making these videos for myself and for anybody who's really interested, but I'm certainly open to collaboration, and I think that this is me putting myself out there. I've been curled in for a long time, and I think I'm ready to expand what I'm doing and my horizons and contribute as an individual creator and just share more of my stuff. I don't really see why I wouldn't. I take so many videos every month, and I try to make stuff, and again, I want to be accountable, and this seems like it's helping me do that already. I've already finished 2 projects this month, and I'm really excited about that. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I guess I'll see you in a month. Have a lovely day, weekend, week, and month. Peace.